Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
The dream of North Wilkesboro Speedway began in the mid-1940s when Enoch Staley found inspiration in a stock car race that Bill France had promoted in South Carolina before the formation of NASCAR. The story goes that Staley and his partners ran out of money to create their perfect oval, leaving the track with an uphill slope on the backstretch and a downhill slope to the finish. Such was born one of the most unique short tracks in NASCAR history. A .625-mile oval that hosted the Cup Series twice a year until 1996. Jeff Gordon won that final race here. From the second that last checkered flag fell, race fans have clamored for the return of North Wilkesboro. Now, we go back in time. The track has been digitally restored to its 1987 state, giving iRacers the opportunity to relive the iconic North Carolina short track as it existed in its heyday. Richard Petty won here 8 times, Darrell Waltrip 10 times, including 5 in a row. Tonight, it's race number 16 of the IROC Challenge Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to North Wilkesboro Speedway for tonight's race number 16 of the IROC Challenge Series. 200 laps, stage breaks coming at lap 50 and 110. Race details for tonight: 78-degree ambient temperature, 45% humidity under partly cloudy skies, a 2-mile-per-hour breeze, track temperature 118 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers have a full fuel load at 100% this evening and 3 sets of tires available to be changed out if so desired throughout the course of the 200 laps here tonight. 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if necessary, and no fast repair, so no safety net for any of the drivers here this evening. Warm-up just about complete. Minute and a half remains. The 00 of Mike Cook actually fastest with an 18:88. Kyle Terzak full 10th off of that pace. 15-car field here this evening. James Pileski's made his return in his number 93. James definitely had some pace early on in the season. Hasn't made the whole season, just kind of a part-time schedule for the 93. Brian McCann, a rather disappointing qualifying effort. We'll take a look where he starts. I believe he's going to start from the 6th position, if I remember correctly. We'll confirm that here with our starting grid, which we'll get to in about 30 to 40 seconds. Black and red flags on the session as we complete the warm-up. Jump right into the starting grid here in just a moment. In fact, let's get to it at this very moment. On the pole position with a lap time of 18.872 seconds, it is the 15 of Garrett Johnston. Outside front row, Kyle Turzak missing it by 32 thousandths of a second. Row number 2, it's the 83 Charity Motorsports machine of Brandon Mefford. To his right elbow, it's the 00 of Mike Cook, who was fastest in that final warm-up. James Pileski, the number 93, will start 5th. Tim Schofield, the number 12, will start in the 6th position. Starting 7th, actually, is the 3 of Brian McCann. William Tyndall, the 62, will roll from the 8th spot. Joshua Stewart, the 03, he'll start 9th with Chris Wally to his outside, starting in the 10th position. Newt Quick in the number 4 will roll from the 11th starting position. Matt Kopp, the 84 Charity Motorsports machine, will start in 12th. 13th starter, it's Todd Kleek, the number 45. Larry Bruner, the 44, will start 14th. Shotgun on the field, the number 77 of Zachary Kleek. Field rolling away from the grid. That is your starting grid for tonight's race, number 16 of the IROC Challenge Series. Under the caution before we go to the start of tonight's race. Garrett Johnston with a solid run last week. Backs it up with a solid qualifying attempt this week. We'll see if he can hold off the 051 of Kyle Turzak. Kyle clearly been the class of the field here most of this season. Field rolling through turns 3 and 4. The pace car about to pull down pit lane. Johnston leads him to the green. He's on the gas, and we're racing here from North Wilkesboro. Trouble behind. Brandon Mefford gets turned, but he straightens it out. We stay green. Mefford loses a few positions here. He's back into the 6th spot. Looks like that was initiated by some contact. Mefford lucky to get away with it. I don't know if the curbing is what straightened out the 83 or if it was some additional contact, but nevertheless, Mefford still just sniffing outside the top 5 here, trying to take that 5th position from Pileski. Meanwhile, out front, Johnston's still your leader. Turzak runs in the 2nd spot with Mike Cook up a position in 3rd. 4th is Timmy Schofield in the 12, and we watch this battle for 5th with Pileski and Mefford. Mefford changing up his lane just a bit, going a little high on entry versus Pileski, who dumped it down low. Mefford trying to put some air on the nose of his machine. Dives it in deep, almost some contact to the back bumper of the number 93. Off turn number 4, Mefford still right there, taking a look to the inside in turn number 1. He's got a nose alongside. Now he's to the door. Does he have the run out of the corner? Mefford's still there. Beaten doors down into turn number 1, but Mefford takes the spot. Pileski taking a little exception, gives a little bit of a shot to the 83 on the exit of turn 2. Everybody continues on. Pileski there still right in the tire tracks of Brandon Mefford. Now Mefford in that 5th position. Hanging on to it for now. Pileski still taking a look now. He gets alongside in the middle of 1 and 2, trying to do the same that Mefford had completed. Mefford loose on corner exit. Might have smacked the wall a bit with that right rear. Pileski still to the inside. Can't quite get clear. Drops it way to the bottom. Mefford trying to pinch the 93 down the best he can. More contact off turn number 2. Little wiggle from both drivers. What a battle we get to watch here right now. A little bit more contact on the exit of turn 4. Slips Mefford up the racetrack just a bit. Meanwhile, in behind, Brian McCann licking his chops watching these two go at it. Yeah, go ahead, boys. Heat up those Hoosiers. Now McCann taking a peek to the inside of Brandon Mefford as Pileski finally got clear. Takes back the 5th position. Now McCann working on Brandon here, trying to take 6th away. Out front, Johnston still in command, a full 2nd lead over Kyle Terzak. We continue to watch this fight just outside now, the top 5. Checking on the stream chats again, HBR TV chat, Tom Janikowski saying hello early on. Gerald jumping in the IROC chat, saying hello as well. Thanks for joining us, guys. Everybody out there in TV land, so to speak, watching the race, feel free. Jump in that YouTube stream chat, say hello, cheer on your favorite driver, whatever you want to do. Just keep it PG for the kids. Mefford really trying to battle around the outside of Brian McCann. Off turn number 2, they're still going at it. McCann not willing to yield the position to Mefford. Mefford not willing to do it either. Finally clears the 83 of Brandon Mefford, so move Mefford back into P7. Hasn't quite been the same since that early incident resulted in Mefford, well, sitting perpendicular to the field, though was able to straighten himself out. Oh, we got trouble. Matt Kopp in the wall. Big time impact. Looks like smoke pouring out of that machine. Matt Kopp in trouble here. First caution of the night, lap 18. Let's take a look what happened here to the 84 just a moment ago. Kopp was to the inside of Tyndall, gets just down to the bottom of the racetrack, upsets the car slightly, gets a little loose, then comes back up, makes a little bit of contact with Tyndall, and it just sends him straight into that inside pit wall. Cop's got some work to do here. Smoke still billowing out of that machine. No fast repair, as we mentioned early on in the broadcast. Cop getting caught back up to the field. Smoke still coming out of that machine. We'll see if he makes the trip to pit lane here. Clearly the left front towed in significantly from that impact, not to mention the mechanical damage. So Cop brings it down pit lane. So 21 laps in here at North Wilkesboro. Garrett Johnston has led every lap to this point from pole position. Turzak still running in the second spot. Mike Cook third. Tim Schofield is fourth. And James Pileski in fifth, where he started tonight. Brian McCann up a spot in P6. Seventh is Brandon Mefford. Josh Stewart eighth, ninth. Zachary Cleek. 10th is Todd Cleek. Pace car lights are off as the field doubles up, gets ready here for our first restart of the afternoon.
Green flag.
And green flag back out. Johnston on the jump again. Battle for the race lead. Kyle Turzak to the inside of Garrett Johnston. Side by side. Too close to call it. Start finish. Battle continues down to turns 1 and 2. Johnston up top. That number 15. The 051 of Turzak down low. Continuing to fight for the top spot here at North Wilkesboro. Johnston slips up the track in 3 and 4. Really gives the advantage to Turzak. Mike Cook a little trouble off of turn number 4. Keeps it going straight. We have a new leader though, Kyle Turzak to the point. Still out front though, Turzak challenged by Garrett Johnston. Garrett wants that top position back. Prior to the caution, Johnston extended his lead out to about a full second over Turzak. Definitely has the pace here tonight to at least try and compete with the 051. Turzak starting to get a little more comfortable out in front of the 15. It's a couple of car lengths back to Johnston. Pileski now up into P3. That's a good news for Kyle Turzak. Puts a familiar face in that third position, slowly starting to work his way back towards the front. Put these two together out front, we're going to see a battle here, but it's going to be effectively between two teammates as Pileski gets the wall there off turn number 3 in front of Brandon Mefford, has worked himself back into the top 5 and 4th. Mefford now looking to the inside. Wants that third spot, switches lanes, goes high down into turn number 1. Just trying to find a way around the 93 of James Pileski. Tim Schofield battling with Zachary Cleek. Cleek got real loose on corner exit just a moment ago. He gathered the car back up, didn't spin out, stay under the green flag. That battle continues for the 7th position. Schofield in 7th in that yellow and black number 12. Zachary Cleek just in behind there in the number 77. Another battle brewing here at the facility. Mike Cook, Brian McCann. This will be for the 5th position. Cook in that white and yellow 00. Brian McCann just in behind in the number 3. Oh, Mike Cook very loose on exit at turn 2. It's going to slow his momentum enough to get Brian McCann to the inside. McCann taking the opportunity off turn number 4. He's got the 5th position. McCann now can try and set sail, catch back up with Brandon Mefford, see if he can put the challenge back on the 83. Those two doing some battling earlier on in this race, likely to continue. 38 laps complete. Turzak now still out in front over Garrett Johnston, and that lead is increasing. About 5-6 car lengths back to the 15 of Garrett Johnston in 2nd. Johnston currently unchallenged. James Pileski back a couple of car lengths. Pileski's got to keep an eye on his rear view as the 83 of Mefford still right there. The car length maybe less off the back bumper. Right on board here with Brandon Mefford as he tries to reel in the 93 for that 3rd spot. Pileski real loose in the middle of 1 and 2. No one's surprised. He hangs on to it for the time being. Mefford gets back there again. There might have been some contact off of turn 4. Hard to tell exactly, but it seemed to upset the balance of the 93. Now Brian McCann has caught Brandon Mefford. This will be for the 4th spot if he can get it done. Stage break coming up here at the end of lap 50, so more points to be paid out. That's why the intensity level is starting to pick up here at the front of the field. Mefford knows he's got to go. Takes a look to the inside on Pileski for the 3rd spot. He's there off turn number 4, still side by side. Pileski gets the better run out of turn 4, clears Mefford again down to turn number 1. Real loose on entry to turns 1 and 2. A lot of rear brake dialed into that machine, I'm sure. Gives another opportunity to Mefford in the entrance to turn 3. See, Pileski battles out with more momentum again. Side by side, you can slip a piece of paper between the two down into turn 1. Mefford maintains the position alongside Pileski through 1 and 2. This again, still the battle for the 3rd spot. And contact off the exit at 2. The door slam. Mefford hangs on to it. Meanwhile, these guys are side by side. They're still reeling in Garrett Johnston. Gotta wonder if Garrett just pushed too hard early on in this race, burned up his tires too soon. Starting to approach some lap traffic. The 45 of Todd Cleek coming back into the 2nd place machine of Garrett Johnston. Meanwhile, still the battle for the 3rd position. Cleek goes way up the racetrack to avoid. Stay out of the way here the best that he can. Gets the wall. Bolesky trying to stay off the door of the 45. Instead, he votes, I'm going to hit the door of the 83, and they carry it all the way through turns 1 and 2. Brent Medford still gets by. Now McCann's going to try and take advantage as those two just rode the doors of each other through turns 1 and 2. It slowed the momentum so much, I thought the caution was coming out. Wasn't the case, nevertheless. Bolesky back from 3rd, now in 5th. Medford and McCann 3rd and 4th, and still Garrett Johnston just ahead, about 4 or 5 car lengths in 2nd position. Turzak looking for a stage win here as he puts lap 50 up on the board. One more circuit around across the stripe. He's going to have a stage win, and we'll get a word with him after that. Turzak off turn 4, unchallenged. He'll take stage number 1. Second place, Garrett Johnston. Medford 3rd, Brian McCann 4th, James Bolesky 5th, Mike Cook 6th, 7th, Timmy Schofield 8th, Zachary Kleek 9th, Josh Stewart. Larry Bruner was 10th. Stage 1 in the books. Pit lane ought to open, I believe, this time by. We'll see who opts to come down. I think it's going to be everybody. It looks like that is the case. Turzak slamming on the brakes, trying to get woed up. Almost caught Johnston off guard. Tyndall's going to stay out here. Fuel for sure, right side tires a definite. Don't think we'll see anybody go 4. Though, stranger things have happened. Either way, Turzak takes right sides only. He's down and away, back out into the race. William Tyndall, as I said, stayed on the racetrack. I don't know if he's just going to opt to pick up a little bit of points here, trying to lead this race. He skips the pits again. Though he did make a pit stop at lap 19, so he's a bit off cycle from everyone else. I believe that was during our first caution. Chris Wally did the same, but he's going to come down and pit anyway. A little bit of right front damage on the 51. Wally's going to bolt right sides on. And I don't know, if I'm Chris here, he's the last car in the lead lap. I might take 4 just because I can. We'll see if he does. And there it is. 4 tires, fuel, a little bit of damage repair for the 51 machine. Turzak's going to come back down here. I don't know if he had a penalty or if he's just trying to top off the tank. We're going to try and get a word with him in a minute, but I don't know if this extra stop it's going to pay off. So we may end up skipping Turzak this time. Oh, there he goes. He put right sides on first. Now he's going to come down and do the lefts. Interesting thought process. It's going to put him in the back, though, just ahead of Chris Wally. I'm not sure if Wally's going to get waved back around. So it looks like William Tyndall is going to take over the top spot here. We are on the 1 to go, so we are going to skip the stage interview here. Tough to get him in sometimes. Give another crack at it here on the second one, which will be lap 110. So Garrett Johnston's going to restart outside front row of William Tyndall. Tyndall didn't pit this time, pit lap 19. Johnston, however, looks like he did take 4 tires. Pace car is in, green flag is in the air. Back to start finish. Johnston takes over the top spot from Tyndall. He's back now the second position. McCann taking a look to the outside. Mefford trying to peek to the inside. I can't imagine they're going to try 3 wide, as we had a few cars pancake the outside wall off turn 2. Tim Schofield being one of them. Everybody gets away and continues on. Meanwhile, we still have a battle for the second spot. Brian McCann now working the outside of William Tyndall. Tyndall slides up a bit in the middle of 1 and 2. Everybody keeps their foot in the throttle as they continue to fight. Back straightaway, Brian McCann now in the second spot. Tyndall's got to worry about the 83 of Brandon Mefford. The no tire change for William Tyndall not paying off, at least at this point in time. Meanwhile, Garrett Johnston continues to lead the pack down the backstretch, and Josh Stewart is around off turn number 2.
Got you loud and clear. I don't know why you can't hear Earl. Can you hear me?
Somewhat lazy spin off turn number 2. Stewart trying to grab a gear and get out of there. Let's take a look and see what happened.
The one on your headset, on your headboard, actually, on your left-hand side. On your
Take a look at it here. I'm not sure if the 03 was in mid-battle or not. Looks like Kleek gets down to the inside. That was, though, on Pileski. Does Stewart just catch the curb? Yeah, he does. He drives on the curb. It sends him up the track in front of the 93 of Pileski, and really nowhere for the 93 to go. Stewart does a good job just kind of having a lazy spin out of it, loses some track position, but he'll continue to fight for another handful of laps or more. Josh Stewart's going to come down, possibly take some tires, maybe some fuel. Chris Wally is in the pits as well. I'd imagine Chris might just be trying to get some more damage repaired on that machine. Trying to get a good angle here. The right front starting to look a little bit better. Want to make note here that last restart for that matter, Kyle Turzak restarted, I believe, in the 11th position. He worked his way up now into the 8th spot. So trying to cut his way through this field, get back towards the front, and challenge these leaders, Johnston, McCann, and Mefford. Wally back in pit lane still, trying to get some repairs made. Just keep chipping away at it. Every opportunity that you get with a caution to do some repairs to this car, he's going to take that opportunity until it's not going to be feasible. Get that thing as close to perfect as possible so we can go out there and try and contend. Cross start finish, the pace car lights go out, so we're on the 1 to go signal. The 66 laps go up on the board. Johnston takes the green flag here. Brian McCann will restart to his outside. Brandon Mefford in 3rd. William Tyndall still in 4th. Mike Cook will restart 5th.
green flag.
Green flag back in the airfield, coming up to speed. McCann with a good run to the outside off turn number 2. Maybe a little contact between the 15 and the 3. They continue to fight down into 3 and 4. McCann working the outside, slips up a groove. Johnston covers off. Johnston maintains the top spot, but now McCann's got to worry about Mefford to the inside. Brandon, for that matter, has got head and nose to the inside of the 3, but Brian drives it way deep down into 3 and 4. Has to get on the brakes to avoid contact with Johnston. Also did a good job keeping Mefford from getting to his inside. Field working off turn 2 once again. The battle between these top 3 separated by car lengths between 1 and 2, and then the same back from 2 to 3. But man, Brian McCann really getting a great entry into that 3rd turn. Very late in the brakes, but the caution is out again. I think Zach Cleek in trouble off turn 4.
Captain Morgan and Diet Coke.
See what happened here to the 77 just a moment ago. Cleek was running to the inside of William Tyndall. Yeah, Cleek just catches that inside curb as well, and it really shoots the car up the racetrack. Made a little bit of contact with the car to the outside, William Tyndall, but gets away relatively clean. About a half spin, slides to a stop here on the exit of turn 4. Brings the caution out, but he'll live to fight on. Checking on Chris Wally. He's back in pit lane. Still showing a good bit of right front damage. But as we said, he's going to continue to chip away at those repairs until he gets it as clean as he possibly can. We're still not quite halfway, and we do not have a huge field here tonight. He's on the lead lap, just doing the best that he can to straighten the body panels of that car back out. Arrow, not a huge factor here at North Wilkesboro, but it does come into play slightly. In this case, though, I think that right front tire being exposed, you gotta wonder if iRacing actually makes that work the way that it would in real life, and what that would do in a realistic situation is it's putting more air on the right front tire. Obviously, aerodynamics are affected, but it's going to keep the tire a little bit cooler than it typically would. Again, we've talked about this throughout the season here. I think it was Martin Truex Jr. Won a race, I believe it was at Martinsville. We had some similar damage to his right front, kept the front tire very cool, and he ended up winning that race because it just wouldn't get hot. Those of you still in the broadcast watching tonight's race, if you haven't already done so while we're under caution, go ahead and hit that like button. Pushes the live stream out to a little bit wider audience the more likes that we get. Helps us here at the channel, helps the league itself get some fresh eyeballs on what's going on here in the IROC Challenge Series. Field doubled up. Getting ready for a restart here. It'll be lap 75 when the green flag drops. And there it is. Green is in the air. Johnson gets away. Good reaction by Brian McCann. So drive it down to the inside, no, outside of the 15 of Johnston through turn 1 and 2. Johnston still gets a better exit. Top 3 under a blanket off turn number 4. Johnston having a great run here tonight. Still out in front of Brian McCann and Brandon Mefford. Battle now for the fourth position, James Bolesky and Mike Cook. That one's over with, but Terzak's trying to follow him through, so now it's the 00 in the 051. Zach drives it deep into turn 3, gets the spot, gets clear of Cook. Cook driving all he can to keep it straight. Real loose on the exit of 4, but he keeps it going. All Cook loses there as a couple of positions, now running back in the 6th spot. Battle for the 4th position. Turzak making very short work of James Pileski. I don't know if that was a planned switch or not, but man, it couldn't have been cleaner. Turzak getting around the 93, move him up into the 4th position. Back out front, still a battle for the race lead. Brian McCann hunting the 15 of Garrett Johnston. Not able to get clear just yet. Difficult place to pass here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Got to time those passes just so. Brian McCann still driving that race car very deep down into turn number 3. I don't know if it's really hurting his exit all that much. Typically, it wouldn't be of a help on the exit of turn 4, but it seems like he's not losing a terrible amount. He's awful close right now. We'll see how deep he drives it in here. Not enough room to get to the inside, and didn't drive it quite as far into the middle of the corner as previous laps. It might just be a matter of time for Brian McCann, though, as he's closing in there just a few feet off the back bumper of Garrett Johnston. They work down the back straightaway. Watch this battle. We've got another battle to watch. This for the 3rd spot. Turzak has caught Brandon Mefford. Now takes a look to the inside for the 3rd position. Side by side through turns 1 and 2. Turzak on the bottom. Mefford up top. They drag race down the back straightaway. Mefford still hanging on the right rear of Turzak as they exit turn 4 at the stripe. Turzak's going to have the spot, but still not clear. Side by side, just inches between the two through turns 1 and 2. Continuing to fight. Neither driver willing to give an inch. Youthful exuberance on a Kyle Turzak. A lot of experience behind the wheel of the 83. Both drivers highly skilled, but Mefford yields the position. Turzak up to 3rd. Laps complete here from North Wilkesboro Speedway. No change for the race lead. Johnston hanging on to it for the time being, but a very hungry Brian McCann. He's got a shot, drives it deep. He's been doing this all race long. Finally had a good opportunity, gets it to the bottom, takes the top spot, goes to the race lead, but not by much. Battling back on the outside, it's Garrett Johnston, still there, not quite clear. Doesn't want to give it up. He's had a strong run, and he doesn't want to see it go away now. Brian McCann still trying to get clear, drives it deep into 3 again. There it is, finally clear of the 15 of Garrett Johnston. Move Brian McCann officially to the race lead here at lap 91. Biggest mover on the racetrack right now, well, it's kind of a tie. Brian McCann up 6 positions. We'll give it to him because he does have the race lead. The other with 6 positions gained, it's the 77 of Zachary Cleek. Keep a close eye on that Hard Charger award at the end of this race. Kind of a consolation prize to some of these drivers, unless it ends up being Brian McCann. You never know. Again, 92 laps complete here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Brian McCann finally sniffing the race lead here once again. Didn't seem like he had the pace earlier in qualifying, and starting from the 7th position. That's mid-pack for this race here tonight. And all is well. Looking good in the long run here. Brian McCann out in front. Second place is Garrett Johnston. Kyle Turzak running in third. Brandon Mefford in the fourth spot, just ahead of James Pileski. He's a dangerous weapon out there too, and I don't mean a bad thing. He's a guy that can go out here and wipe the floor with some of these guys and steal a race win. He can compete with the fast guys here. Brian McCann, Kyle Turzak, Brandon Mefford, and so on. Just a handful of laps shy of halfway, a handful plus a couple more shy of the end of stage 2. Chris Wally still running on the lead lap in 12th. Brian McCann, you can tell he was fast. He's starting to put some distance on second place as Johnson has slipped to third. Kyle Turzak now into that second spot. Right where he qualified. Just shy of halfway. He's worked himself up into the top 2. Turzak getting shuffled back into the end of the lead lap cars after making a second pit stop for the left side tires. It's paid off as far as tire advantages are concerned, but had to work himself through some lap traffic or just some traffic in general, not even lapped. I wonder how much tire he used up in doing so, but so far so good as he does run in the second position. Last lap about a tenth faster than Brian McCann, so he is closing. Lap 100 goes up on the board. When we cross the line the next time, it'll be halfway. Doug Wysocki in the chat says, great broadcast, Steve. Appreciate that, Doug. Miss you out here tonight. Glad you're watching. Johnston really having a strong run here tonight. Very impressive. Put the car in the pole position. Has slipped a bit in the latter stages of this long run. Mefford still running in that fourth spot, just ahead of James Pileski. Car length between the two of them. Pileski really not turning up the wick just yet. Still some right front damage on the number 93. Not sure where he picked that up. Two drivers out of this race to this point. Nuke Quick in the 4 and Matt Kopp in the 84. Remember, Matt had a pretty big moment here on the front straightaway. Significant damage to his machine has put him out of this race. Only made it about 20 laps. Nuke Quick out of this one at about lap 53. 13 cars remain on the racetrack. First car one lap down, though. It's the 45 of Todd Kleek. Todd can stay on the lead lap here a little bit longer. He should get the wave around that lucky dog here when the opportunity comes knocking. McCann about a straightaway back. He's not as worried about lapping or unlapping Todd Kleek. He's very worried about that rear view mirror and what's in it. And it's the 051 of Kyle Turzak, who is right there as we get near the end of this stage. Couple more laps in stage number 2. Can Brian McCann hold off Turzak? Seems like Kyle has slowed just a bit, but I'm thinking it might be to try and cool some tires down and make one last-ditch effort at the end of the stage to pick up that additional points. Meanwhile, the 45 of Todd Kleek trying to get out of the way of the race leaders. Way up the racetrack. He lets them go by, lets them continue to argue about this position. Tough break for Kleek as he's just going to get that one lap back that he just lost. Could have put him back on the lead lap, but nonetheless. And there it is. Caution's out a little bit early here. Not sure what we got going on here. Maybe Mike Cook. There it is. This will effectively be our stage break, though, as caution comes out within 5 laps of the planned stage end. So Mike Cook loops it around. Let's see if we can get a look at it. Looks like he just gets loose out of turn number 2. Seemingly by himself. A lazy spin to bring us under the caution flag. So Brian McCann's going to win the stage. We'll get a word with him post pit stop. Sunoco race fuel for Brian McCann. Actually, I think it's probably VP race fuel in these cars. Right side tires go on for McCann. Do they put 4 on? He does. So 4 tires and fuel for Brian McCann. Here to finish up our second stage. Drops the jack. See if we can pull Brian up into the chat here. Brian McCann and Steve with HBR TV. Got a good copy?
Hey, I do. How's it going?
It's going good, Brian. Congratulations on that stage win, holding off Turzak for that stage win. He was coming in a hurry, then the caution came out just a tick early. Do you have enough to hold him off all the way to the finish?
Maybe. He looks pretty fast back there. I kept making mistakes, though, so hopefully I can figure out how to not do that.
Well, you know what they say, race the racetrack, not the competitor. I know you know that as well as anybody else out there. So I'm sure you got an opportunity here. Good luck the rest of the way. What channel can I put you back in? Sorry, I didn't make note of that.
Number 3.
Oh, I should know better. Good luck, Brian.
Thank you.
It's Brian McCann, your stage winner here. Admittedly making some mistakes, trying to hold off Kyle Turzak. Very rare to see that out of Brian McCann. I don't want to call him the Iceman because, well, I guess Terry Labonte's got that one. But yeah, Brian McCann just does not typically make mistakes. If you keep his eyes out the windshield and not in the mirror, he may have an opportunity here. He's still got to keep an eye on Turzak just a bit. Try to figure out where he's running to make sure he doesn't jump to the inside and cause a problem. But I'll tell you, there's a reason that windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror, because that's what's important. What's in front of you, not what's behind you. Granted, kind of want to keep it behind you. So there's some importance to use that mirror just a little bit, but you got to balance it. Pace car lights are out. Turzak giving McCann a little bump on the backstretch. So we'll give it another go.
Ready, green, green, green.
Green flag back in the air. Kleek times it well. He's on older tires. May be a bit of a rolling roadblock for some of these drivers. He's kind of all over the track here a bit on entry to 1. Just trying to hold on to it for the time being. It's difficult on these old tires. Doesn't have the speed down into turns 3 and 4. Brian McCann gets around, takes over the top spot. Now the battle in behind. Kleek still runs in that second spot, but it's Turzak and Pileski side by side. Pileski on the bottom, the number 93. Slides up a little bit of contact with Turzak as they race down into turns 3 and 4. Still side by side for position. Might have got clear for a minute, but Turzak turns down to the inside again. Still that battle highly contested here in P3. Turzak with a nose just ahead of Pileski for the time being. Into turn 1 again, a little bit of contact down into turn number 1. Still Pileski fighting back on the outside. A real loose is Cleek off turn 2, straightens it back out. 77 as Zach Cleek had his hands full off turn number 2. Now Pileski, same situation off of 4, and Garrett Johnston coming into this picture as well. Going to complicate matters for the 51 and the 93 as they work out of turn number 2. Some very fast drivers here in the top 6 right now. It's Brian McCann, Zachary Cleek in second, Kyle Turzak, James Pileski, Garrett Johnston, and Brandon Mefford. I got to hand it to Zachary Cleek right now, doing a good job staying within a car length or 2 of Brian McCann, and he's doing it on an older set of tires. Job well done to this point. Now that older set on the 77, I believe, is just the left sides. He did come down, make a pit stop during the stage caution. Rights only, I think, is why he got out much sooner than everybody else, but still doing a good job, hanging tough there in that second position. Meanwhile, Turzak has gotten clear of the 93 into that third position. Pileski back to 4th. Garrett Johnston running in the 5th spot. Brandon Mefford in 6th. Johnston taking a look, though. He wants more. He's got the pace. 15 machine looking awful racy here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Now 125 laps go up on the board. 76 remain here from North Wilkesboro Speedway. We're going to take an HBR TV side-by-side break. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at North Wilkesboro Speedway, we've got a lot of action going on here at the Speedway. Terzak just getting clear of the 77 of Zachary Kleek for the second spot. Meanwhile, the battle continues between James Pileski and Garrett Johnston, leaning on each other out of turn number 4, door handle to door handle. Lap 137 up on the board. This race quickly coming to its conclusion. Johnston gets the curbing there off turn number 2 a bit. He slows way up. Gets to the inside of Mefford. I'm not sure the situation there, why he lifted so hard. I don't know if he had a problem. Seemed to be holding his own quite well for a few moments there, but now he finds himself back in P6. Zachary Kleek, biggest mover on the day right now, up 12 positions, hanging tough in that third spot. Brilliant pit call just a little bit ago to take right sides only. We'll see if it pays off with a solid finish for the 77. Meanwhile, McCann out in front still, quite a ways back as the 051 of Kyle Terzak, just under a second and a half in the rears. Pileski has caught the 77 of Kleek, just a half car length off the back bumper, but Brandon Mefford's right there as well, hunting the 93. Kleek way up the racetrack, unable to pin it down to the bottom here. It's going to open the door for Pileski and possibly Mefford as well. Kleek way up the track again, and Mefford's going to try and stick to the back bumper of James Pileski here. Try and follow him through. A little bit of contact. Pileski getting into the door of the 77. Kleek just working that ultra-high line, using that momentum to try and defend. It works for a moment, but now Pileski finally gets clear. Now he's got to contend with Brandon Mefford in the bottom of the racetrack. Garrett Johnston has caught up to this group again. He's regrouped. He's on the attack, trying to take the spot from Kleek as well. So a little bit of a free fall for the 77 of Zachary Kleek. So now Pileski up into third. Terzak still running second. McCann still out in front. Pileski's got his hands full again. Brandon Mefford. I don't know if Brandon has just put in the extra work in the last, 5-6 races, or if he's just finally figured this late model stock out, because he has been hard to guard quite a bit the last handful of races here in the IROC Challenge Series. He continues to put the pressure on the 93 of Pileski. Mefford running in that fourth spot. Started in the second row, in third. McCann still about 1.8 seconds ahead of Kyle Terzak, so we'll continue to watch this fight for the third position. Pileski and Mefford. Mefford takes a look to the inside, door shuts, little bit of contact, drives into the back of Pileski, goes to the outside, caution comes out. You watched it happen live. It seemed like something was getting ready to happen. I don't know if Mefford just got in the corner a little too deep, or if he just got back to the gas before Pileski, anticipating him to throttle out. Let's get another look at it. Watch it nice and slow on entry here to turn, I think it's turn 3. You see it right here. Mefford throttles up And the bumpers, you can see, they do not line up. In fact, they line up in such a way that it is just counterintuitive to make any contact because you're going to lift the rear tires off the ground of whatever car you're driving into. Didn't pile drive them, but it's real easy to spin a car out if you lift the tires off the ground mid-corner. Round he goes. Pit stops just completed here. A few drivers stayed out. Brandon Mefford, Larry Bruner, and Josh Stewart. Turzak leapfrogs Brian McCann in the pits with about a 1.4 second, 8/10 of a second faster pit stop over Brian McCann, but that's all it took to get him out ahead of the 3. So as far as tires are concerned, a little switcheroo. Mefford and Bruner now still stay out. Stewart finally comes down to pit lane to make his stop. About 49 laps to go here from North Wilkesboro. Now, we have seen in the past in this series, drivers responsible for a caution of that type tend to go to the back. I don't know if that's something that they enforce or if the drivers that we've seen do it have done it by choice. But as it stands right now, Brandon Mefford still out in front. There you see it. Pace car lights are out. Track position very important here at North Wilkesboro. It's going to be Brandon Mefford and Larry Bruner on the front row as we get ready for the restart. Bruner's got to get caught up here and get 2 by 2 with the race leader. So it's Mefford, Bruner, Turzak, McCann, Pileski, your top 5. So we'll give this another go. And there it is, green in the air. Bruner with a very slow start. It's going to really cause Brian McCann to get locked back into that 6th position. Loses a lot of ground trying to get around the 44. Bruner, oh, we got a big wreck off turn number 2. Timmy Schofield, I think, got up on his lid. Let's get a look at it. So Schofield gets the right hook from the 77, which in turn gets him into the back of William Tyndall, which gets him sent around, and then the rest is history. Try and take another look here, maybe from a different camera angle. Yeah, it just sent Timmy up the racetrack. He gets into the back bumper, actually, of Tyndall. Through all that, though, I think Schofield may be able to get back in this, depending on how much damage that car really has. It looks like it's got 4 wheels still straight on it, but I don't know. We'll see. Did take it right to pit lane. There was smoke coming out of the machine. I think his opportunity to solid finish is certainly out the window here today. Twisted Gaming in the chat says, deemed a racing incident. I'm assuming he was talking about Mefford and James Pileski. I don't know when that hit the chat there. I missed it, but that's my assumption. Twisted Gaming, I believe, is our in-race official. So we'll get it lined up here and try it again. Pace car lights still on. Should get the one to go the next time by. It'll be lap 160. Give us 41 laps to the finish. Again, if we do get a brash of cautions here late, as cautions do tend to breed cautions, we do have 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish available if so needed. Twisted Gaming says, yes, race control here. I figured. All right. Lap 161 will be our green flag lap. Pace car lights off. Doubled up once again. It'll be Brandon Mefford to the inside of Kyle Turzak. James Pileski will restart third. Larry Bruner is still going to restart fourth. We'll see if he gets a better restart here. Doesn't hold up McCann this time. He's got to fire off. Green flag in the air. A little bit better for Bruner, but really good for the top two. Turzak timed it perfect. Off turn number 2. Do they get through it this time? Yes. Mefford inches back to the race lead, gets clear. Turzak looking to cross over, taking a look to the inside. He's got to run. Taking a peek down turn number 1 alongside Brandon Mefford for the race lead. Out of turn number 2, Mefford on the gas, so is Turzak side by side. They fight down into turns 3 and 4. Mefford not willing to give up. Turzak catches the curb a bit, actually helped him rotate just a bit, but the run coming to the outside, that's Brandon Mefford. Pileski drops it to the bottom, in behind, I think, teammate Kyle Turzak as well. These guys are both awfully fast. A little bit of a jostle of position off turn number 2, but everybody gets clear. Mefford might have caught the wall on exit of 4 there. Gets alongside, bounces off James Pileski as well. Still now fighting for that second spot as Turzak takes over the race lead. Pileski gets clear. He's in that second spot. Now Mefford's got to worry about Brian McCann. Remember, Mefford didn't take tires during that last caution, and it's starting to show already. Right now we've got 3 drivers with the fastest lap of the race at 19.13 seconds. It's James Pileski, Brian McCann, and Zachary Kleek, all running identical lap times. Oh, Mefford dirt tracking it off turn number 2, keeps it straight. Fighting with Garrett Johnston now. Mefford really going to have to wheel that race car on those old tires. He might be double thinking his decision to not take them that last time. If we get another caution, though, I'd be willing to bet Mefford is going to do it. And no sooner than I say 19:13 was the fast lap, Brian McCann goes one better. 19.09 seconds for the 3 of Brian McCann as he runs in the 3rd spot, trying to reel in Turzak and Pileski. I tell you, Pileski's looking for the race lead here. He's awful racy in behind the 051. Top 3 drivers, Turzak, Pileski, and McCann, all within striking distance here with 31 laps to go. I think right now McCann's a little bit faster than the 93, but you got to be a lot faster to get these passes done in many cases. McCann's right there. He might need to use that bumper just a little bit. Somebody already has on the 93, so you know Pileski is going to be on guard for that sort of thing. Oh, Tyndall in trouble on the backstretch. I think he lost it all by himself. I don't know what precipitated that. He's trying to get it straightened back out. If he gets going, we'll stay green. And there he goes. Let's see what happened just a moment ago to the 62. Did he have some help? He did. Little overcorrection, then it sends him down to the infield. He's going to get a piece of that Armco, a pretty big piece for that matter. Tyndall stays out there. Must not be too terrible to drive. Meanwhile, while we watch that replay, Brian McCann clears the 93 of Pileski, gets that second spot. Now he sets his sights on the race lead and Kyle Turzak. Starting to chip away. Sorry, McCann starting to chip away at that deficit. Mefford running back in the 5th position on those older tires. 25 laps to go here from North Wilkesboro. Kyle Turzak with the race lead. Just about 3/10, a little less than 3/10 ahead of Brian McCann. A car length, we'll call it, off turn 4. McCann about 0.03 of a second slower than Turzak that last lap. We'll see if it switches out the next time by. Does he have enough to make the charge and then pass Kyle Turzak for the win here at Wilkesboro? Across the line once again, Brian McCann, a 19:33 for the second lap in a row. 0.7 quicker than Turzak. I'm sorry, 0.07 quicker than Turzak. There we see that again, him driving it deep down into turn number 3. He's been doing that all race long. It seems to be working just fine for the 3 of Brian McCann. We've got 21 laps to go. It's crunch time for sure. McCann stalking Kyle Turzak down the back straightaway. About a yard between the two of them. Drives it in deep, makes it about a foot between the back bumper and the front bumper of Brian McCann. Once again, crossing the stripe, 20 laps to go. Turzak kind of diamonding turns 1 and 2. Real loose on exit is the 051. It may be an opportunity here, but no, McCann not quite close enough to get to the inside before hitting the brakes for 3. Down turn 1 and 2. McCann got to the inside, still has to settle back in behind. 0.5 tenth faster the last time by was Brian McCann. We said it earlier on in the race, Brian McCann, not a stellar qualifying effort here tonight. May get a chance to talk to him about that later on, but he has certainly made up for it during this race. Has the pace to keep up with Turzak. Turzak a little loose in the middle of 3 and 4 there. But Brian McCann starting to run out of time. Real loose off turn 2 is Turzak again. He's going to open the door. Border Brian McCann as he's still trying to get around Kyle Turzak. I think if Mefford could get by, he might be able to put some distance on Turzak. He seems a bit faster just about every lap. This time again, they were equal. Both drivers running a 19:45. Turzak way up the racetrack on a turn number 2. Again, he's using every inch of the racing surface he can, but You push that envelope a little bit too far, you may end up in the wall. Brian McCann right there to the back bumper. Not going to take a look this time. He's trying to time it. Now he noses alongside just a bit. Might have picked up the grass a little. Off turn number 2. Terzak still edges him out. Top 2 getting into some lap traffic. Chris Wally slides way up the racetrack to let the leaders fight it out. This race is just about 11 laps shy of being over. Once again, McCann drives it back into the back bumper of the 51 of Terzak. Not quite enough to make contact yet, but will we see McCann use the bumper here late? If anybody can do it without wrecking the guy, it's going to be Brian McCann as Larry Bruner up the racetrack. Didn't provide a great exit for Brian McCann. McCann actually gets the curbing there in 3 and 4. We got 10 laps to go at the line. Pileski still running in 3rd. If these two come together and take each other out, Pileski could pick up the scraps and a checkered flag. Top 2 hotly contested here off turn number 4. We've got 9 laps remaining. Terzak still out in front. Faster still was Brian McCann, a 0.03 of a second faster out of the 3 that last lap. It's been that way just about every lap the last 10 or so. McCann has been quicker but has not been able to get by. Seven laps to go from North Wilkesboro. Once again, McCann faster still. 0.08 now, almost a full 10th quicker that last lap. Loose again is Terzak off turn number 2. McCann taking a look to the inside in turn 3. Terzak drives him down to the curb, upsets the car just a bit, but McCann still in the gas. 6 laps to go. On board with Kyle Terzak, looking off the back bumper. And a hard charging Brian McCann. Lap traffic coming into play again. Now McCann to the inside. Still can't get it done. Terzak way up the racetrack. Coming to 3 laps to go. McCann running out of time. At the line, 2 laps remain. Kyle Terzak trying to hold off the 3 of Brian McCann. He's done a good job of doing that all season long. McCann's picked up a few wins, but not anywhere near as many as Terzak. Terzak wants to keep adding to that pile of race wins. Through turns 3 and 4, coming to the white flag. Final lap from North Wilkesboro. Terzak takes it. Just got to make it back around. Just another half mile or so for the 051. Started on the outside front row, worked his way back from the back of the pack after a pit stop. Now with a race lead, holds off Brian McCann out of turn number 4 for the final time. Checkered flag in the air for Kyle Terzak. He wins it at North Wilkesboro. Second place, Brian McCann. James Pileski comes home in the 3rd spot. Terzak through turn 4, gonna light it up here for us, I think. Or will he? Well, Zach, not going to make a big show of it. He just parks it here on the front straightaway. So we'll step aside, get a break out of the way, be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Back at North Wilkesboro Speedway, race number 16 in the books of the IROC Challenge Series. Kyle Turzak parking it in victory lane once again. We're going to pull the driver of the 051 up into the broadcast booth. Get a word with our race winner, Kyle. Steve with HBR TV. You got us?
Yes, I do.
Kyle, congratulations, man. I think you actually had to earn that one here tonight. Strong qualifying run, put it on the outside pole. Teammate James Pileski taking that top spot. Early pit stops put you back in the pack, had to work your way through, but once you got back in that race lead, you didn't really look back. Whale of a job holding off Brian McCann there in the latter stages of this race. Walk us through what it took to keep the 3 in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, at the start of the race, I started outside pole, and I knew that Garrett was going to burn up his stuff there because he was just slipping and sliding every corner, and on that restart, I took advantage of it and got in front of him to win the stage, and that second stage there, I was going to take 2, and then I realized the left rear was just wore so much. I came back down, took the left sides, and I think that's the best I ever drove here during that second stage. I was just pumping out good lap times, and I thought I was going to win the stage there for a second, but I knew as soon as I got in that dirty air, Brian had it, and the yellow came out. But in the third stage, I just I really don't know what I was doing. I was hitting the wrong line and just making mistakes. But that was a really good race towards the end. Brian, he's really good around this place on the long run, and I kind of chopped him a few times. It's just my bad, but it's part of racing, and we go on the next week.
Well, you do what you got to do. He still ended up finishing in that second spot here late. As you said, that's racing sometimes. As these races get closer to the end, you kind of have to do things a little differently than you would maybe on lap 10 or 15. It's just the way it goes. I'm sure Brian McCann's kind of the same way when it comes to that type of situation. You guys still raced relatively clean, though. Everybody walks away happy. We look forward to Lanier next week with these cars. You got any laps out there in this?
Yeah, actually, I hold every world record there in late model, so I'm pretty good around there, just in any car. But hopefully we can carry this momentum into Saturday, which first race of the season in real life. So hopefully we carry that in a limited late model and to keep going with this momentum on the sim.
I'll certainly wish you the best of luck in both races there, Kyle. Congratulations, man. Who do you want to thank before I let you get out of here?
Yeah, I want to thank you for the broadcast, Chris, for putting this on, Race Control, Zoom Setup Shop, my family for watching. Hey, whoever's out there, probably a few of you. And, yeah.
All right, Kyle. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
It's Kyle Turzak, your race winner here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to Brian McCann, our runner-up. I think this is the hardest we've ever seen Brian McCann fight for a second place. He wanted that win bad, but just couldn't get past Turzak. Brian McCann at Steven HBR TV booth. You got me?
Hey, I do.
Brian, congratulations, man. Another runner-up here at North Wilkesboro Speedway to Kyle Turzak. I got to hand it to you, though. It was a great race, great battle to watch you and him the last long run here at North Wilkesboro. It seemed like almost every lap you were just a tick faster, but couldn't make that pass, couldn't get it complete. What was the main issue there? Was it lap traffic or just trying to get enough of a run to get alongside and get clear?
Yeah, we were looking pretty good on that middle stage, stage 2, and then came out on the final stage and started like 4th or something, but just got blocked and held up and moved all the way back to like 6th. So I had to battle back through and get back up to Kyle, and I was trying to save my tire a little bit, not to wear it out, because I figured that's how it was going to turn out. And then I knew I had to have enough tire to beat Kyle, and I did, but man, track position, I got my nose in on him a couple times, but it was kind of iffy if I was even going to make the turn, so I kind of backed out, and he didn't really give me much room. So we were racing real hard, and it was a really fun battle.
He did admit to chopping your nose off a couple of times there. He says he kind of felt bad about it, but at the same token, I think that you in that situation would probably do the same thing if you had an opportunity to win this race here late if the roles were reversed.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It was a fun race, so I'm not going to be mad or anything about that. I wanted to race him clean. You know, I didn't want to just take him out of the race where there was a couple opportunities I probably could have just, stayed in it and may not have been classified my fault. But other than that, I mean, amazing race. Really fast drivers out here tonight.
Blast to watch for sure. We look forward to Lanier next week. How do you feel about your opportunities to have a strong run there?
Probably not looking good. I raced that track back in like the legends around it just to get my license, but other than that, I don't have a lot of track time on that one.
Well, Turzak says he loves that place. He's awfully good there. We'll see if it comes to fruition in these late model stocks next week. Either way, Brian, congratulations. An awesome run, second place finish here tonight, and a great race to wrap it up. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, man, my family, you for doing the broadcast, league admins for putting this on, sponsors for making it happen, everybody watching tonight, and the drivers. Thank you.
All right, Brian, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Brian McCann, your runner-up here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Next, we're going to pull the 93, James Pileski, up into the broadcast booth. Get a word with our third-place finisher. Back in action here tonight. We haven't seen him a lot of the season. Of course, he did have a win earlier on this year, but he's back in the race car here at North Wilkesboro. James, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
It's going good, James. Good to see you back out here. See, you haven't missed a step at all. Awfully quick. Put the car in the pole position and bring it home here with the top 3. What was the strategy call here late? Was there anything you could have done different to make it maybe a 1-2 with Kyle Turzak?
I don't know. Maybe suck less. I don't know. I hate this track. I thought it was Slinger this week. That's why I came, and then it wasn't. So, oops.
Well, either way, you stuck around for it, so we do appreciate that. I think the schedule actually overall got pushed out a week earlier on. I forget exactly why. So I think Slinger was last week. No, it was Concord last week. I don't know. We got
it was a couple weeks ago, but whatever.
Well, either way, good to see you back here. Fun to watch you battle it out there with Turzak and McCann. Are you going to be around next week for Lanier?
I think so. As long as nothing pops up, I should be. I'm going to try to run the rest of the season. We'll see how it goes.
Certainly looking forward to that, James. Again, thanks for chatting with us here. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
The Posse, Epic Designs, or Epic Media, Loco Toco Designs. Those guys. That's pretty much it. I'm whooped. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sweating. I'm hot.
Worked hard here tonight. James, congratulations again on a solid top 3. If we see you next week, man, good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
James Pileski, your third place finisher here at North Wilkesboro. It's going to wrap up our top 3 interviews. Let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we already talked to our top 3. Kyle Turzak, Brian McCann, James Pileski. 4th place was Garrett Johnston. 5th belongs to Mike Cook. Brandon Mefford came home in the 6th position. Tough break for him. I think he had a car and really a driver capable of better than that. Just didn't come to fruition. William Tyndall was 7th. Josh Stewart finished in the 8th spot. Zachary Kleek, I guess you can give him the Hard Charger Award here tonight. Finishes in the 9th spot after starting 15th. Let's see. 10th was Chris Wally. 11th, Todd Kleek. Larry Bruner was 12th. Timmy Schofield finishes in the 13th spot. Newt Quick and Matt Kopp round out the finishing order here at North Wilkesboro. Thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. Of course, we've got more racing next week. Tune in here, same time, same channel. We'll be at Lanier. Certainly looking forward to that one. If you guys haven't already done so, go ahead and click the thumbs up in the stream, like the stream, subscribe, share the channel, whatever you got to do. We do appreciate that. Also, check us out. Man, I'm slacking again. Things are getting busy here in the day-to-day, and we haven't been able to get the live stream up on the HBRTV1.com website, but keep checking that out. We do appreciate that. We'll try to get that rectified here for this Thursday's race, the season finale of the Lone Star Racing Cup Series presented by AMCO Transmissions. That'll be Thursday evening about 8 p.m. in the East here at HBRTV at Talladega Super Speedway in the Next Gen Cup car, or the Gen 7. We're trying to stop saying Next Gen, but either way. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you for the stream chatters, the few that we did have. Of course, let's see, Twisted Gaming, Doug Wysocki, Tom Janikowski, and of course Gerald over in the IROC chat side saying hello. Even if it's only a few of you guys, we certainly do appreciate it. Let's try and bump those numbers up next week, get some more dialogue here in the chats. But that's going to do it for us here at HBR TV from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Again, congratulations to Kyle Turzak coming back here with another race win and a strong race to the finish line with Brian McCann here tonight. We'll see you guys next week at Lanier. Thanks for watching.